G'day guys, welcome back to Mango Invest. In this video, we're going to show you how much JEPI pays me on a monthly and yearly basis just through dividends alone. I've held JEPI for the start of 2022, so I'll show you my very first dividend from JEPI and then every single month leading up until 2023 in January. We'll talk about the growth rate of JEPI as well through Seeking Alpha. So if you like this content, make sure you subscribe and hit the thumbs up, and let's get straight into it. Alright, cool guys, we'll go straight on to trackyourdividends.com, and this is basically my portfolio so far. So $273,000 with an average dividend yield of 4.95%, annual income just sitting under $12,000 USD. But if we scroll down to JEPI, we want to show you how much money we're earning on a yearly and monthly basis. So in total, we've got 349 shares. It's currently trading at $54.77. But my personal average price is $56.45. The dividend yield at the moment is 11.56 itself. And then as you can see there, the annual income is sitting at $2,216. Cool, so that's just a quick little background of JEPI in my portfolio. Moving over to Seeking Alpha, we'll just talk about the growth rate and the dividend history with JEPI alone. So they've only been a company since 2020, so they're very new. From 2020, they were paying annually a dividend of $3.23. So you've got to break that down monthly in order to get the monthly dividends per share or cents per share. Now moving over to 2021, they've then upped that dividend to $4.16, and then 2022. $6.36. So really, when you think about it, so from 2020, just over $3 to 2022, just over $6, they've doubled their dividend in 2 years, which is pretty insane. And here you can see the yearly data here. So from 2020 to 2021, they've grown their dividend 28%, which is pretty incredible. And then just the very next year, they've increased it again by 52%, which is almost unheard of. So when you're trying to find a dividend company for yourself, this is the data that you want to see, because you don't want to just quickly, buy any dividend company that you see. You want to see if the company is consistent over time. It's consistently growing their dividend over time. But what tends to happen with the new companies, because these guys have been operating for 3 years. What happens is, for the first couple of years, they'll grow their dividend, like we've seen here, 28 to 52%, which is pretty much unheard of. And then you kind of ask yourself, that's not really sustainable for 10 to 15 years of operation with a company. So some of the more safer, more consistent dividend kings and dividend aristocrats, such as McDonald's, Coca-Cola, AbbVie, all those guys, you'll see that their dividend growth rate every single year, it's only sitting around 2 to 6 to 7%, which is a little bit more healthy. So just keep that in mind when you're assessing a dividend company there. Here you can see the monthly dividend tracker here. So, their first dividend was, 49 cents per share. We've had a low of 26 cents per share and a high of 62 cents per share. Now, just really quickly with JEPI, the dividends every month are very inconsistent, because the way they make their cash is with all the companies inside their investment portfolio, they sell stock options in order to get that income. So then that way they can increase the amount of dividends they're getting to their shareholders. So keep that in mind as well. So the dividends aren't always going to be a nice linear sort of growth pattern. They may be a little bit, they may fluctuate here and there. All right, so now let's just move over to all the dividends that I've earned with JEPI since, when's this? So the 5th of January 2022, I received my first dividend of JEPI, and I've invested with them ever since. So the first dividend I got was $1.66. But that was my initial investment. So I only had as you can see there, 3.62 shares, and the amount per share was 46 cents. So now we're going to go and show you every single month of dividend, because they pay monthly. We're going to show you every single dividend per month with JEPI until January of 2023. And it's pretty insane just to see this growth. Check this out. So the next month, all right, JEPI paid me just under $8. So we've gone from 3 shares to just under 21 shares. Okay, now moving over to the next month, all right, $23.73. So we've gone from 20 shares to 51 shares. So with the dividends that I received from JEPI, I straight away reinvest those dividends in order to get a higher payment for the next month. So moving to the next month here, so we got the 7th of April, they paid me $32.18. So we went from 51 shares to 54, so I only purchased 3 more shares there. So let's move up to the next month, being May of 2022. So I didn't change the shares. Didn't look like I bought any shares that month. So we had 54 shares, or 54.73, and they paid me $25.62. So let's just go back a month. So we had the same amount of shares, but one month paid me 32, and then the next month paid me 25. So there you can see the inconsistency with the dividend, because for this particular month, they probably just sold less stock options, okay? Moving over to June, okay, same amount of shares, but we've gone from $25 to $28. So they've sold, slightly more stock options. Moving up to July, so we got paid a bit of an increase there, but I've also added 26 shares with the company there. So I've got 80 shares, and they paid me $50.04. Okay, moving to August, all right, I've increased my shares to 237, so a massive deposit with JEPI there. And the average cents per share, they were paying me 50 cents, and then they paid me $117.61 there. All right, moving up to September, $138.59. Moving up to October, they paid me pretty much the same, so I've kept the same amount of shares, being 247. And the amount per share is 48 cents, and they paid me $119.22. Moving into the back end of 2022, so November. So we've increased a couple of shares there, but as you can see there, the amount per share was a little higher, so 61 cents, which is to their upper range within their dividend history there. So $152.54. Now this is just for 1 month, so it's 12 months out of the year. $152 USD is pretty incredible. So we've gone from 251 shares to 266 at the same amount per share, being 61 cents, and they've paid me $162.44 in December of 2022. All right, so January, so the first month of the year, so we've held 267 shares at a price of 57 cents per share, and they've paid me $153.50. Now, our very last one is February of 2023. Now, we've gone from 267 shares to 349, so I've purchased a large amount there. But as you can see here, the amount per share is a little lower, being 44 cents. So remember the last one was sitting around like 61 cents per share. So a massive decrease here. And again, like they've obviously sold less stock options within their portfolio. So for February, $155.36. All right, guys, so that concludes the video on JEPI on how much they pay me every month through dividends. What I'll say to the new people, starting out with dividends, and they're only receiving, 20 cents, 30 cents, $1, $2 on dividends. Just hang in there. As you saw with my portfolio, I started, receiving $1.66 through JEPI, and then over the months and the year, just consistently reinvesting those dividends, we've gone from $1.66 all the way up to like $160 per month. Okay, so if you just keep chipping away at it, do regular deposits into stake, and then consistently reinvest those dividends, you'll get there. Just give it time. Now, lastly, don't just buy any random dividend company that somebody says to invest in. Actually, make sure you do the research and then look at the dividend history and the dividend growth rate, and just to see if they're remaining consistent and constant with their dividends. That's probably the biggest takeaway that I could give you guys. Yeah, that concludes the video. If you enjoyed the content, make sure you subscribe and hit the thumbs up button. It really helps out the channel. Until next time, catch us later.